pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is the local planning agency board. It's an advisory board to which makes recommendations to the county commissioners who will make the final decisions on these items. The item on today's agenda will be heard by the county commission on April 6th and April 20th. When a motion ends in any kind of split vote, a roll call vote may be taken to ensure accuracy. As a reminder, each member who makes a motion or a second needs to turn their microphone on so that their voice could be on record. And at this time, has any board member had any ex parte communication regarding any application, please disclose so now. Okay, we'd need approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
A motion by Bruce, a second by Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed unanimously. Okay, and I guess our only item and our first item.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Amanda Elmore with Planning and Development, and this is Jane Hart with Planning and Development. She did a lot of the research and ran a lot of the numbers for the ordinance that we have for you today. So this ordinance does two things, both related to dock permits. One is it establishes or clarifies a measurement point for docks in various scenarios, and Jane put together this handy graphic to kind of show you exactly how that would work in different scenarios based on whether or not it's a natural shoreline or a seawall, and where the property line is in relation to the actual water land interface. So if you have questions about that, we're happy to answer, but I can give you a little bit more of the synopsis of the changes. So really, the change in the measurement point allows a little bit more flexibility because we're borrowing some language from some other codes for consistency, and we're allowing the applicant to kind of choose where the measurement starts from. So the first thing when we're reviewing a dock is we decide how much measurement you get, how much projection you get, rather. So if the canal is a typical 80-foot canal, it's 20% of that, which is 16 feet. And now where do we start measuring into the waterway? Well, that's what this graphic would tell us, and that's what this language tells us. And it allows a little bit more flexibility in that you can use whatever line you have on your survey, as long as it's one of these, the mean high, the ordinary high, the safe upland line, or the buffer establishment line. So previous to that, we didn't have the ability to use all four lines, so we're giving the applicant, rather than them having to get a new survey with one specific line, we're allowing them to use what maybe they already have. So that's kind of the first step. There's really no change in the application. Our staff has been doing things this way for some time. We're just clarifying the language and putting it in code. So the second thing that the ordinance does, it establishes clear riparian zones so that you have a 7.5-foot setback for new docks or docks that are coming in and they're more than 50% repaired, that they would have to maintain a 7.5-foot side setback so that they can't encroach on their neighbors. And you can't put inflatable docks or anything else to block your neighbor's access to their dock. So it just clarifies a definition of waterway encroachment. We've created that to say no vegetation in that area, no pilings in that area. Allow your neighbors free access to their dock, and they'll do the same for you. So those are kind of the two issues that we have sought to address with these amendments. The Building and Construction Advisory Committee unanimously recommended approval. We've had very little feedback. We did send it out to all the marine contractors. We just had a couple phone calls to say, hey, can you explain what's going on here? But really no negative feedback, really. So we did have one person ask about a dock today that we wouldn't permit anyway because it's not on a canal. So they thought this language applied to that dock, and it does not.
I'm sorry, say that again?
This language would only apply to docks on canals. We don't permit docks on natural water bodies. That's Department of Environmental Protection. So
Okay.
for that gentleman's concern, this wouldn't apply to it anyway.
All right.
We're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Well, I guess we got to do the formality. Is anyone in the audience want to speak for or against this item? Seeing that, I bring it back to the board. I have just a couple comments on this for staff. Looking at, you see City of Cocoa Beach, no reference as far as same as ours. Indian Harbor, Satellite. Have they mentioned anything about this? Jumping on board or
Have we
yay or
had
nay?
any, I don't believe we had any input from any of the municipalities. I'm not even sure how or where they are, or how much they keep up with what we're doing.
Okay. Anyone on the board have any questions for staff?
Over here. I'm just not, if I read this correctly, this is only for canals and man-made waterways. It does not include the rivers, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, I don't really have any comment. We spoke, I'm on the BCAC, and we looked at this, and we just had some very minor little comments, and that's basically about the exhibit, just to make sure that there was clarity and it was, well understood. So it's mostly house cleaning, so I don't have an issue with it at all. The only time I've seen really an issue is when you have a canal that is divided by municipality, and I just happen to be on the Indian Harbor Beach, P&Z, and we had an issue where we have a canal that's half in city of Satellite Beach and half in the town of Indian Harbor, so that we just changed the rules so that they were compatible, but I don't think that doesn't apply to this. But I do think that they're kind of aware, and I'm sure if there will be an issue if that happens here. And I'm sure there are some canals that, or go beyond the municipal property lines, and that might be an issue for some other day. But I think it's fine as written. And so, unless anybody has any other questions, I'll make a recommendation for approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Bruce, a second by Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passed unanimously. I would also like to welcome Mr. William Capote. Yes. Our District 3 rep is here with us, and hope to see you a lot. Okay, that was an easy one. Meeting adjourned.
The opinions expressed by any member of the public during any period of public comment do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, or the program sponsor, and are solely those of the presenter. The Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, and the program sponsor hereby expressly disclaim any and all responsibility or liability for any defamatory or slanderous statements expressed by any member of the public during any such period.